Yo, we're fucking back. Rocco B, Scotty G, Highly Explicit NFL Podcast, episode 36. I'm dusting off my fucking mic as we speak. We're back. And Scotty G, what the fuck did we just see?
I don't know, bro. You gonna introduce me though? Am I gonna say how you doing? Or you forget your whole lineup here? What's going on here?
Listen, forget about lineup. Like I said, I'm just lucky my fucking mic works. But I'm gonna tell you, my boy Scotty G out in San Diego, California.
How you doing?
I'm just fucking shooting in my shorts over here. The fact that we got probably the best weekend we're ever gonna see. Ever.
Rock, I was going to interrupt you and say that was literally the best weekend of football I've ever witnessed in my life, and I maybe ever will. We had literally 3 games that ended in a field goal and one that ended in overtime. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better weekend of a divisional round.
And the games were great. Offense, defense, special teams, unbelievable. I think, I don't even know where to start. I think the only way to start is the fucking 2 driving forces of this fucking podcast the whole season played each other on Sunday night. They gave us the last game of the weekend, and it was my boy Patrick Mahomes and your boy Josh Allen going fucking head-to-head. And that game last night, Scotty, I'm going to let you go after I tell you it proved 2 things. One,
boy.
I was completely wrong about the Chiefs' demise. They are fucking here. They may go all the way again. And they also proved in Buffalo that they need one thing and they need one thing only. They need the fucking home field advantage. Scotty, it's all up to you, baby. What do you got about that game last night?
Look, I'm going to start by saying I will admit this whole postseason, I'm not even going to go as far as just last night. This whole postseason, Josh Allen has been balling. I can't deny it. This kid's been throwing the ball like mad. He's still not as accurate as people want to say he is. People are still sucking him off for the wrong reasons. Even that bomb he had to Diggs, was it Diggs? I think
it was Davis.
Well, Davis was the touchdown at the end. Was it? Which one was like the 60-yard bomb? Was that also Davis?
That was Davis.
Okay. The bomb to Davis, even that, he had a turn. And look, I'm not gonna nitpick that because it's such a bomb. But it's like even little things like that, like the Cooper Kupp, he didn't turn anywhere. It was right in stride. That ball, he had to stop for a second, grab it, and I get it. This kid's got a fucking cannon, and I can't talk shit because he threw 9 touchdowns in 2 games. It's unreal.
Yeah, you're out of your tits. You're out of your tits.
But
if you're
no, I'm giving him credit, but still couldn't get it done. And what I tell you, these running quarterbacks can't get it done.
Hey, he don't play defense. You tell Josh Allen to go play cornerback. You go play you tell Josh Allen to go play safety. You go tell Josh Allen to go play fucking linebacker. Then maybe they got a shot because he can do it all.
I give it to you. He didn't lose that game. He did everything he had to win that game. I get you on that. I'm not denying that. But
they blew it.
Didn't get it done.
No, they blew it. Unbelievable the fact that defense, led by Leslie Frazier, who's the guy, apparently who's leading all these fucking teams in the offseason, that all of a sudden, he's going to be the head coach for the Bears. He's going to be a head coach for the Vikings or whatever. He can't even coach his fucking defense to stop one guy for 13 seconds. I'm not lending my fucking franchise over to a guy who can't get that defense, who was the best all fucking year, to defend the whole field minus maybe about 35 yards for 13 seconds. Give me a break. Josh Allen fucking shot in your shorts for multiple times during that game. The fucking fans in Buffalo deserve to have that game be the staple of what
Bills
they
Mafia.
remember forever and ever, and they're never going to forget this shit again for the wrong reasons. So
I got a couple of things, but first let's go back to that last play, that last scenario with the 13 seconds on the clock. Do you think, because it's a big topic now, do you think they should have squib kicked it? Do you think they did the right thing kicking it off? Do you think the defense was too loose, too lax, letting them go down and get a field goal? What are your thoughts on that whole situation?
It's plain and simple. And my boy Tony Romo is one of the brightest and the most eloquent minds on the fucking tube nowadays. When you watch these games, Romo is exactly right. These kickers are so damn good now. These special teams coaches, at least a handful of them, are so fucking amazing now. You fucking kick the ball. You don't have to squib it. Kick the ball up in the air to about the 5, maybe the 3 or the 2 if you're fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
You got to return it. You have to waste. That's at least
you
4
got
seconds.
If you took off those 4 seconds, he gets 1, maybe 2 plays. I think he had like 3 or 4 plays at the end of that fucking game.
Yeah.
And if you take away 1 more play, it either makes the field goal improbable or it puts him at like a 56-yard field goal instead of whatever it was, kind of a chip shot.
Yeah,
for this guy.
Yeah, it was in the 40s for Bucker, who
But Bucker's a good kicker.
He's a good kicker.
You got to push him back to the 50s to really get a shot on that.
Sure, but the fact that he did miss the extra point, he did miss a field goal in the game, but I don't give a shit. 13 seconds. If your special teams doesn't kick the ball down there and let them waste time and kicks the ball in the end zone, fine. Mahomes gets the ball, 25-yard line, 13 seconds left.
I also think they were kind of playing conservative. They're playing soft. They let them go right up the middle of the field.
If you're worth your salt as a coach, as a defensive coordinator, you are the number 1 fucking defense all year. I don't give a shit if you played 90. I don't give a shit if you played 100 plays the whole game. You're on the field for 13 fucking seconds. You do not let Tyreek Hill catch a ball. You don't let Kelsey catch a ball unless you know that you're going to let him inbounds, tackle him for fucking 12 yards, 15 yards, fine. They just let them march right down the field, no fucking problem, and then boom. And it's like, I don't understand why a guy like that would then go get a head coaching job. I'm sorry. You just can't give him a head coaching job after that. You blew the best game that Josh Allen has played in his fucking life. To me, that was a better game than the Patriots. To me.
He played phenomenal, but I'm not going to sit here and say that he doesn't deserve a head coaching job because he had a bonehead play, and I'm not going to sit here and say he's not going to get one because look at your boy Kyle Shanahan in fucking San Fran. He blew one of the biggest. He blew it in the Super Bowl. I mean, he really should have never gotten a job after that debacle, and he did, and he's considered the boy genius over there. I'm just saying. I think they played a little too soft. I think I agree with you. They should have doubled Kelsey. They should have doubled Tyreek Hill. I would have been able to sleep at night if fucking Pringle and McKinnon beat me.
Absolutely.
But you let those 2 guys into your stratosphere, and it felt like when they got the ball, no one even touched them for 5 to 7 yards.
I know.
So it was like, dude, of course they're gonna get going. I don't know. It felt like they were just so scared of them getting a touchdown. It felt like they were playing for the overtime. That's what it felt like Buffalo was doing. And maybe, I don't know if you know this, but apparently Josh Allen was 9-0 on the coin flip before that night, and he went 0-2 last night. And I don't know if maybe they thought the odds were in fucking Josh Allen's favor, because I'll be honest with you, if the Bills get that ball in overtime, Bills probably are going to the fucking AFC Championship, because I think any team that got that ball was going to score.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, I honestly, they might have just been playing for the overtime thinking they were going to get the fucking ball. And I don't know why you would play that way. That's the dumbest fucking way to play, especially against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, because they were coming to fucking, they're coming for a chip.
It was a mess. It was a fucking mess. It was a fucking meltdown. And, the fact that, the Chiefs defense, I still believe is Pyrite's fucking fool's gold, even if Matthew was on the field. They gave up 27 plus points in 8 fucking games this year, okay? Don't get me started with the Chiefs defense and their back and all that shit. No, they're not back. They never were there, okay? They play good in spotty fucking little spots when they play against teams that are less than. They will play against a team like the Rams or even the 49ers if they just run the ball down their throats. It's not like where, the Chiefs defense is back. It's a fucking problem for them, okay? And Mahomes is not going to play like this every game. It's just not going to happen.
Real quick, I'm going to break down their defense for you. I'm going to tell you why they look good in spots. Because Mahomes and that offense with Kelsey and Tyreek Hill and the way they play the game, they get up and they can score fast. When you have a team that scores fast and can put points up on the board fast, they had that one they scored in 45 seconds. When you can put touchdowns up that quick, it requires the other team to score or it requires them to throw the ball. You can't run the ball anymore. You have to throw. And literally, there's about 5 quarterbacks in the league that can throw the ball consistently without making a lot of mistakes. The more you throw, the more you're open to mistakes, whether it's drop balls, missed targets, interceptions, fumbles, whatever the fucking case may be. So when you're forced to throw the ball, which Kansas City does that, they force you to throw the ball, that's where it opens you up to mistakes, and that makes it easier on the defense. It also makes the D-line be like, oh, well, they have to throw the ball. Let's just pin our ears back and just go after the quarterback. It literally just makes the entire defense of the Kansas City Chiefs' job much easier when they know what you're doing.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, Tampa Bay proved it last year in the Super Bowl, and San Fran had them fucking 2 years ago as well. So, I don't know. We'll see if they can prove it, in the next game against my boy Joey B. And, we'll talk about that in a minute. But and then if they get to the Super Bowl, those both offenses, Rams and Niners, can fuck with you in 2 different ways. So, but I just love the fact that Josh Allen is going to prove you wrong. He will be a future Hall of Fame quarterback. And
we'll see.
And
we'll see once they fucking pay the motherfucker.
This is gonna be unbelievable down the stretch for these next couple years. This is gonna be Brady Manning-esque, and I love it. I just think, like I said, Buffalo for sure. I think for them to get over the hump, like you said, they got to pay Allen here soon. So I think the one thing they need is going to be home field, and they better get their asses in gear next season, because they will see the Chiefs again, and they don't want to see them in Arrowhead. I'll tell you that right now in the playoffs. Oh, boy. Now, Scotty, that was Sunday night. That was the last game of the weekend. Let's go back real quick to, if we I know, you don't want to believe it still, but let's go to the first game of the weekend, shall we?
I don't even remember that. It felt like years ago.
I got
last night's game took about fucking 10 years off my life.
I got 4 words for you. Oh, what I tell you, okay? The fucking Cincinnati Bengals. I've been saying it since, I don't know, what's it been, June? That the Cincinnati Bengals were going to win this division, that they were for real, and you better watch out. And holy shit!
I'll give you props on this one. Like, there isn't a soul on planet Earth other than Bengals fans that will come to you and be like, "Yeah, I thought the Bengals were going to be what they are this year or win the division." There's people that thought they were upcoming. I thought they were upcoming. Like, that's any fucking slouch can tell you they're an upcoming team. But to call them and say they were going to win the division, which they did, and then go on and pick them in multiple playoff games, which you did, is unreal, and I'll give you props for that.
Well, thank you very much, and I'll tell you right now, okay, everything had to go right. They had to stay injury-free, which basically they have. Jamar Chase had to be the fucking pick at number 5 instead of Better Sewell, and we fucking see how that's turning out. And the fact that they have Zach Taylor, a coach who has been just absolutely shit on for the past 2 years, having the worst record in the NFL over the past 2 years before this year. Joe Burrow, Joey B, Big Dick Joey B has got this fucking team in. They're thinking like this is the 80s and 90s again, right? So
I love this kid, man. He's got the swag.
He's got it, and I'm telling you, the biggest factor, I think, when you hear it over the whole season, right? Why did Mike Hilton come to the Bengals? Why did Trey Hendrickson come to the Bengals? Why did this guy? Why did that guy? They said one fucking thing and one reason only. It wasn't the money. It wasn't that Cincinnati's fantastic. It wasn't they love black and orange. It was the fact that they came to play with Joey B. And that is going to be a big fucking thing in this offseason. These big motherfucking free agents coming in, they're going to want to go to Cincinnati for the first time in years. So, and they beat an overrated Titans team. I mean, you called that. I mean, you didn't like the Titans.
The Titans were literally the worst number 1 seed I have maybe ever seen. Julio Jones is officially done. We knew that going into the playoffs. I thought that before the season, but we've been clarified of that. Ryan Tannehill, you know what? This is shocking for a lot of people. This is shocking for me. But I actually got to give a small apology to Adam Gase, because I think he is the worst coach in fucking history. He might have been slightly snubbed, because Tannehill does suck. He really is not very good. He's good. He's better than he was with Adam Gase. Don't get me wrong. I know he was hurt a lot or whatnot. But he's very, very, very – he's a slightly below mediocre. And Sam Darnold's obviously trash. So I apologize, Adam Gase, for thinking you were that abysmal. You might be just like a notch above abysmal. Because Tannehill's trash. And Derrick Henry coming off an injury, he still played, but
nice. Still played great. I'm going to tell you what, Deontay Foreman is a great story. He came back. He was looking great.
That kid is he held it down too when Henry was out, and I think he's a good. The only problem is I have with Foreman, and I love it for when Henry was out, but like going forward next year, assuming Henry's going to be there and assuming Foreman's going to be there, they're the same fucking guy. You need a 1-2 punch. You don't need the same fucking thing, 1-1.
Yeah, no, I agree. But in that game, I'm not going to be super harsh on Tannehill. I don't think he's great, but I also don't think he's less than mediocre. But in that
guy
game,
threw what, 3 picks?
In that game,
he started the game with a pick.
Oh, I mean, unbelievable! And he ended the game with the pick. I mean, it was unbelievable. The last throw and his first throw. In that game against Cincinnati, though, he was Miami Hill. Okay, so that's the problem. He went right back and reverted right back to the Dolphins, and he was Miami Hill against the Bengals. Now, Joey Burrow didn't throw a fucking touchdown, but yet that bullshit pick, that fucking ball hits the ground. Okay, there's no way that was an interception.
Let's real quick. Let me go back a game before you go to that before we keep going on this. The Raiders game. You think the Bengals should even be where they are with that Bengals Raiders game?
As far as what?
Did you not see the blown whistle that was ignored?
Oh, come on. I mean, that literally, the whistle went off when the ball was 3 feet away from the guy's hands in the end zone. They played. I understand the whistle went off. They should have redone the play. I get it. But the fact that, you're saying since he wouldn't have scored on the next play. I mean, it's just, we'll see. The Raiders couldn't get it done at the end. You know what I think about Derek Carr, but they still couldn't get it done. They
need to shake that team up. They got Mayock out of there. We saw that happen. I think based on his picks he deserved to go, but based on the team's trend, I don't know if he really deserved to go.
Yeah, we'll get into them. We'll get into them later. We got a lot to say about the Raiders, but as far as Cincinnati beating Tennessee, Vrabel's a great coach. They were overrated. Shouldn't have been the 1 seed, and they were very overrated and bad 1 seed. But the Cincinnati Bengals are going to go into Arrowhead this week, and I'm going to tell you what, Scotty, they got a fucking puncher's chance. They did it in Cincy this year. They did it the right way. They were fucking aggressive. They didn't kick the field goals. They went in the end zone when they had to. They went for it on 4th downs. That's what they're going to have to do in Arrowhead. They got to deal with that fucking pressure, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think
listen.
Unfortunately.
I'm let me be honest with you right now. I love Joey B, Big Dick Burrow. He is, to me, I think we're actually looking at. I don't really think Mahomes and Josh Allen are the next Peyton Brady kind of thing. To me, that's like the next Big Ben and fucking Brett Favre.
Okay.
To me, the next Brady is Joe Burrow.
Yeah, and then I know what you're going to say for Peyton.
I'll wait and I'll tell you who I think the next Peyton Manning is.
Okay.
But Joe Burrow, I think, is the next Tom Brady. And he's got that factor, man. He's got that leadership. He's got, like you said, they want to play for him. He's got that swag. He just wants to win. And he's doing what Rex did to the Jets back in the day. And I told you this is why I loved him so much. He's changing culture.
Oh yeah.
Like he's like underdogs. We ain't the underdogs.
Yeah, no. You read
what are you guys talking about here?
You read everything that they wrote about him in the draft books for the combine and for the scouts, what they say about a guy. They said that Joe Burrow is going to be a culture changer, and it's exactly what he is. Cincinnati has been in the doldrums for 30 fucking years. I don't give a shit about Dalton. I don't give a shit about Marvin Lewis. I don't give a shit about those guys. Chad Johnson. They have been in the doldrums. Nobody wanted to play there. Now you're getting guys from the outside that want to come in and play with Cincinnati. Whole new ball game.
And the best thing they could have done is what we called, and they went out and did it, is they went out and got his boy, Jamar Chase.
Yep.
Because it's not only the fact that he's a playmaker. Because, yeah, we saw fucking 9 sacks, which is incredible. He was able to still win. Only quarterback ever in history to win a postseason game with 9 sacks.
Yep.
His offensive line is atrocious. We all know he should have got an offensive line.
They got to fix it.
But it was a bigger deal to get Jamar Chase, not only because he is a playmaker, but because Jamar Chase is going to be his Rob Gronkowski. That's going to be his Wes Welker. That's going to be his guy that's going to help push the message and say, hey, this is the guy we got to follow.
Absolutely.
He's going to be the guy to help rally the troops and get other people to follow and come there and be like, no. Joey B's the guy.
Yeah.
That's the guy we got to lead.
That's
got to lead us.
I can't wait. I think they're going to fall just quite a little short with the Chiefs.
I'm putting the house on Kansas City. They ain't fucking winning shit. Bengals.
But if
it was a good story so far.
I know, I understand, but I'm not putting it past them that they can do it. But I just think it's going to end in Kansas City, unfortunately, and then that's going to charge them up for next year, and they are going to be the favorite, in my opinion, for like the 1 or 2 seed in the AFC next year.
They get an offensive line, and they can keep some of that offense together. They're going to be a fucking problem for like the next 5 to 7 years.
The only thing I worry about with Joey B and your Tom Brady assumption is, unfortunately, I think Joey B, and especially if they don't fix the O-line in a hurry, he is a little bit more injury prone than a Tommy B. And he's already had the big injury.
You're saying
already,
he's more like an Andrew Luck. You're saying he's like the next Andrew Luck. He's going to end up fucking out of the league in 6 years.
Potentially, and we'll see. So I want to save the best for last. So let's go to at least another great thing we saw, but I wouldn't say it was the best game. Let's go to Lambeau Field, shall we? And the Saturday night game. Aaron fucking Rodgers, right? Oh, my God. MVP. He's a fucking amazing, the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. I mean, if I had a fucking dime for as many times as I heard that the past couple days, I'd be a rich man, okay? The most talented quarterback I've ever seen. Who gives a fuck? And people, number one, I personally don't think he was more talented than Dan Marino, but still, most talented quarterback. Who gives a fucking shit? Okay, the guy doesn't win in the playoffs. He's 11-10. Okay, he's 11-10. He has one fucking lucky ass Super Bowl. This guy's the most overrated, underachieving, and disappointing Hall of Famer of all fucking time. Aaron fucking Rodgers. Okay. They blew that game. You telling me he pulls a Dak Prescott-like performance against the San Francisco 49ers at home as the 1 seed, and you're going to tell me that this guy is the most talented quarterback you've ever seen? Give me a fucking break. Okay? Guys, like I always complain about Dak to you, Scotty, guys like that, the quarterback, the elite, the top 2 or 3 paid guy in the league, or the fucking best quarterback you think in the world, most talented, whatever, you don't score 10 points at home. You just don't. You don't score 10 points at home. You don't lose to a team that only scored their only touchdown in their special teams, okay? It's all on Rodgers. I'm going to go into why it's maybe on Matt LaFleur a little bit later on, but it's all on Rodgers, brother. Tell me something wrong.
Let me interject for your fucking rant here, because I think you're slightly overreacting, but you're not off. You're not completely off base. Look, Rodgers. Let me back up real quick. Let me just say this and get this out of the way, because I'm a miserable Jet fan, so I like to pull other teams' franchises down as best I can. You realize that in the last 30 years, the Packers have had 2 quarterbacks that are, in a lot of people's minds, top 10 greatest all time, if not top 15, maybe top 20, but a lot of people have of those 2, Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, top 10, top 12, whatever you want to fucking put them.
Sure, I get it.
They got 2 Super Bowls to show for that.
Yeah.
2.
Yep.
30 fucking years.
Yeah.
It's a fucking embarrassment.
An embarrassment.
Now, I agree with you, but the guy also, I don't think he's the biggest disappointment in Hall of Fame history, because at the same time, this guy has also gone to 5 NFC championships? He does have a ring. There's guys that never won shit. Marino never won shit.
No, but they weren't the most talented at their position. They weren't they weren't top 5 of all time like people think he is.
I get it.
He's awful.
Let me say this then. This guy, he doesn't get it. He likes to throw the ball, and he likes to only throw to Devontae Adams. I do not know why he would not throw it to anybody else. I do not know why in the fucking snow this team decided not to abandon the run. They didn't run the ball.
Yeah, I know.
Every time this guy plays in the snow or cold weather, he sucks. I don't even know why he's playing for the Packers, because guess what? It's cold every fucking January when the postseason comes. Maybe that's why he literally plays his worst football in January. He throws more picks in the postseason than he does in the regular season half the time. His postseason career, I believe he has more picks per average or whatever it is than the regular season. And with that being said, that's why this motherfucker is going to dip out, and that's why he's going to go to fucking Miami or Las Vegas, because he didn't want to be in this cold weather anymore. He can't play in it. But that game, last thing I'm going to say, and I'll turn it back to you, what the 49ers did to Aaron Rodgers in that game, and it's crazy because you'll love this, they fucking damaged his legacy, dude.
Absolutely.
This completely there's literally people coming out now and being like, he's actually not that great. His legacy is tarnished.
It's
He
over.
literally has to come out next year and fucking set the world on fire and win a fucking chip like outright to get people to forget about what just happened.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, literally, his career legacy is stained.
They
forever.
always say that you make your legacy in the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers is going to win his 4th fucking regular season MVP. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? The Titans were the 1 seed. The Packers were the 1 seed. They were fucking one and done. Who gives a fuck about 1 seed? Who gives a fuck about how great you are in the season? Tampa Bay was a wild card team last year. Look at what they did. You watch it. If the fucking Niners go to the Super Bowl this year, they're a fucking 6 seed. All right?
We got a 4th seed in Rams hosting a fucking playoff and hosting an NFC championship.
I mean, who gives a fuck about the season? I want to see what you do in the playoffs. I want to go to LaFleur for a second and then we'll get to the Niners because I do want to go into some of the shit with the Niners. They deserve their own fucking time. But the Packers, Rodgers, in my opinion, takes 95% of this shit. Matt LaFleur cannot get off this hot seat, okay? He now is 3 years in a row. Massive disappointment. Fantastic in the regular season. Green Bay Packers fans at the end of the season are massively disappointed. How the fuck do you come out and say that you hope your special teams doesn't rear its ugly head in this game? They got one of the worst fucking clutch kickers all of a sudden, like because Mason Crossbar's been hitting everything the past fucking, his whole career, 15 years where he's hitting these fucking crazy ass field goals out of nowhere in the playoffs when it matters.
He's missed a lot, but he's also made a lot of clutch shots.
Sure, but this guy is just he can't get out of his own way now. All of a sudden, Crosby. Then you're gonna say that they get a blocked punt for a touchdown, and that's the other team, San Fran's only touchdown. How do you have a special teams that's so bad that shows and rears its ugly head when you thought that it could? You didn't work on that all year? Excuse me, you didn't work on that all week? Okay? And then here's the worst part. So not only does their fucking special teams give up a fucking blocked field goal at the end of the first half, which gave the Niners all the fucking momentum, all the mojo going into the half, then, like I told you, the fucking Niners scored their only touchdown on that block punt, and it was Talanoa Hufanga, the fucking guy we love from USC, right? He fucking takes that in, and I'm going nuts saying Hufanga, right? And then, just to fucking throw a little salt in the wounds for fucking Packers fans, here comes Robbie Good as Gold, right? A fucking last-second field goal. Can he make it? His fucking foot's frozen. His dick's on fucking ice. You know, how's he going to fucking hit this field goal? The Packers got to fucking block this so they can get it overtime. Come on, we got to block this fucker. They had 10 fucking dudes on the field. 10.
I know.
How bad is that? So that's on who?
Honestly, well, that comes down to coaching. That's all. Special teams is all coaching. And I agree with you, and I understand. And a lot of people can point blame and say, hey, special teams lost it, not Aaron Rodgers. That's bullshit because Aaron Rodgers should have put them in a position to where that didn't matter.
Didn't even matter.
Because they only scored one fucking touchdown off of the special teams for the whole game for the Niners. And here's the thing. I don't get it again. They didn't run the ball. I'm telling you, man, Aaron Jones, if the Packers don't want him, I'll happily take him on the Jets because I literally argue with myself on whether he is the best running back in the league because he's Nick Chubb-ish, but he's like a chubby. But he catches the ball better than Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
No,
he's
Aaron
a fucking
Jones,
receiver
fantastic.
out there.
I think he was a little bit more banged up than they wanted to put out there, and then you forget fucking A.J. Dillon broke his rib.
What about Dillon?
Dillon broke his rib halfway through the game, so he was out. So he was gone, but at the same time, I like you said, I mean, run the fucking football. And not only that, but again, like you said too, I'll piggyback on the fact that Rodgers does not throw the ball to anybody else. Mercedes Lewis had the big fumble, didn't throw to him again. Josiah DeGuara fucking had that drop over the middle, didn't throw it to him again. You can't just throw to one fucking receiver. What do you think this is, Cooper Kupp? Oh, wait a second, we'll get to that in a second. But, you know, the fact is he doesn't throw to anybody else because he doesn't trust you. What about Randall Cobb? They fucking traded for Randall Cobb, fucking Aaron Rodgers.
Did Randall Cobb even play? I didn't even see his dumbass play.
No catches, no targets, nothing. Okay, so it's unbelievable.
That was the dumbest thing. I get they're friends, but that was the dumbest thing. Oh, do you want me to stay? Just go get Randall Cobb.
Yeah.
What?
It's unbelievable. Now he's trying to throw his weight around again. He's saying, "Oh well, you know, we need to re-sign Tanya, and we make sure we get."
He's
Devontae
not
Adams
staying
back.
there. He's not staying there. Did you hear what he said after the game? He goes, "Look, there's a lot of contracts that have to be dealt with." He said, "There's a lot of free agencies potential coming up." He goes, "And I'm not going to be part of a rebuild."
Yeah,
So
of course.
there's
But
a
they're
lot
not-
to think about.
They're not rebuilding. They have a good roster, especially if they bring fucking Adams back.
But
and
to
all that.
me, that tells me two things. It tells it gives him an out to the fans. Hey, I'm not fucking gonna hang out here because we're not ready to win. And it also sends a message to the fucking league and says, hey, if you're a shitty team and you're rebuilding, don't even look my way
Yeah,
because
he's
I'm
a-
going to a Super Bowl ready team.
Yeah, he's a bitch. I hope he retires. I can't stand his face.
He's not
Can't-
gonna retire.
Can't stand his fucking voice, and that's it. I hope he goes. But
I
Scotty,
like watching him, but I hate him.
We've already wasted too much time on fucking Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. We got to talk about the San Fran 49ers. I mean, unbelievable the fact that they own Green Bay and the fucking Rams. They own them both. And Shanahan may be a fucking, piece of shit in certain areas, and he may not, be the best coach or here or there, call this play or that play, but he owns the Packers and he owns the Rams. And I'm going to tell you what, he's beaten McVay now 6 times in a row. But I don't know.
Was
Scotty.
it 6 or 7?
It's
Oh,
6.
this is the 7th
This
match.
is for
He would
7.
have to beat them 7 times in a row.
Can he beat McVay for the 7th time in a row without trusting Jimmy Garoppolo? He does not trust James G. He just doesn't. Okay? Can you beat a fucking team like the Rams finally with a guy like Stafford? We'll get into that in a second. But finally with a guy that McVay can fucking trust. Can he beat McVay for the 7th time in a row without trusting James G?
Probably not. I don't think it's going to happen. Honestly, though, it's just, I mean, the odds are obviously in the Rams' favor. The whole reason why they dominate them is because the Rams are soft. They're a soft fucking
soft.
team.
I
and
gotcha.
the Niners don't play. They're a hard, physical, hard-nosed team. They run the ball. They play good defense. But the problem is that, like you said, they don't trust Jimmy G, and I don't understand why. He's like, what, 31-15 now, Shanahan, with fucking Jimmy G?
Yeah.
Why don't you trust the guy? Look, Jimmy, and it's sad to say, my boy's a diehard Niners fan. You know, they're like my second favorite team. But I'm a big Jimmy G supporter. But I'm telling you right now, and this is no fucking secret, the Achilles heel on the fucking 49ers is Jimmy Garoppolo. If they had any other quarterback that was a little better, you plop any of these other quarterbacks, even now, even Stafford, you throw him on the Niners, it's probably lights out. It's probably the Niners Super Bowl. Like, nobody's fucking with this team. The problem is Jimmy G, I don't know when he's going to throw that one pick a game because it's coming. He's throwing one pick every game. It just matters if it's going to be in your red zone, their red zone, the beginning of the game, end of the game, the clutch. You don't know.
I'm just saying, I'm changing my tune slightly.
I'm a Jimmy G guy.
On Jimmy G, just because, yes, did he let the Dallas Cowboys in the wild card round? Yes, with that pick. Did he throw a pick against Green Bay? Yes. Here's the thing, though. On a play, there were multiple plays where they were 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1, whatever. All you needed, there was one play they got stuffed on 4th down. All you need is him to just do play action, roll out, throw the ball to Kittle. Throw the ball downfield to Jennings or to fucking Debo, or if you want to use Debo as a fucking, decoy, you got Ayuk. It's like they don't even let him do that, And
I know they got him on a short leash. And real quick, not to divert the subject, but I just got to say this because you brought it up. I'm on board with calling Debo Samuels the number 1 weapon in the NFL. And if he continues this for another year and maybe catches a couple more balls, I'm going to argue he's fucking top 3 receiver in the fucking league. This guy's unreal. But yes, I agree with you. Jimmy's on the short leash. I don't know why you're not giving him to Kittle. I don't know why you're not giving it to Debo on these short little passes. But they don't trust the guy. And I'm telling you, he's in the category of like the Kirk Cousins and I'm trying to think, like even like the Matt Ryans, like he's in those categories. But the difference between Jimmy Garoppolo and those other guys is Garoppolo's arm strength and his slinging ability is not as good as those guys. It's not as well as those guys, however you want to say it. But he is smarter than those guys. He makes a lot of the right decisions.
Yeah,
he reads the field very well. He's like a poor man's Brady. He learned under Brady. He's just not as physically talented.
Yeah,
and he can't stay healthy. He can't stay fucking healthy.
That's the big thing. And but they are in a good situation. They do run the ball. They do have this great defense. This defense is really playing their balls off. And I'm excited for this matchup because there's a ton of storylines with this Rams and Niners matchup in the championship. So
I'm just nervous being 7 times in a row you'd have to beat them, and their secondary is still questionable. Like the Niners secondary is on defense is their weakest point, and
yeah. Secondary don't matter once the fucking.
They started Josh Norman last fucking game. I don't know if you saw that, but it was crazy.
Yeah. But if the DNs have got the quarterback in the fucking dirt, who cares about your secondary? So I think it's going to be an interesting matchup for the Rams, but they're clicking on all cylinders like they were against my Tampa Bay Buccaneers and my boy Tom Brady. Oh man, Scotty, this was
pour a little out for him, baby.
No, I'm not pouring anything out for him because he's going to come back better and stronger next year.
He's coming back. Dr. Tomas out of his fucking tits.
These
he's saying he's fucking retired. You're out of your
saying
mind.
He's retiring or out of your fucking minds. Just watch Man in the Arena.
I'll be shocked.
Just if you've followed Brady over these past 21 years, you think he's retiring when he can still play? No. He doesn't, everybody says, okay, well, no, he did. He walked out on New England, with the pick six against Tennessee in the playoffs. It doesn't matter what the game's like. He'll leave he left the team. He's not leaving football. Okay, the Bucs are a great situation. They're going to do whatever it takes to keep him around, and he's going to stay. It's the fact if he can play or not. He doesn't want to look like Peyton Manning.
He led the league in what, touchdowns and yards?
In yards. I mean, he's not.
He's
not going anywhere. So he's going to take
44 years old, man.
Yeah, he's going to take a month, and he's going to play again.
Rock, I do think 45. I think next year is last year. I've been
so
saying
too.
it for a while. I think 45. I think that was the magical number he was waiting on. I know Dr. Tomas says something about his contract being fugazi, and it's not fucking. It actually doesn't matter for next year. They just did it for the cap, and maybe that's true. I don't know. I'd have to look into that.
Dude,
but if that is the case, they'll just do it again. They'll just do the same thing for one more year.
He'll do the same thing. He's going to do whatever it takes. He always has to make the team better. He'll take $1 million if he fucking can next year, just so the team can get better. He'll be the lowest minimum he can.
Can I say something too? You're criticizing Leslie Frazier. You know who just probably had a bunch of fucking interviews canceled? They call it, you know what? Cancel that interview. Todd Bowles. What the hell are you doing? Doing a zero fucking blitz.
Absolutely.
At the end of that fucking game.
Absolutely. Todd Bowles does not deserve another coaching job. Number one, the shit that he brought the Jets even further down than the Jets should have been. Number one, for the 4 years he coached them. Number two, you have a fucking game very, very like the Super Bowl that the Patriots beat the Falcons with. The Rams did everything wrong in the second half, and the Bucs did everything right in the second half. And the fact that Brady unbelievably brings you back in the second half to tie the game, even though Fournette maybe should have thought about maybe sitting down at the 1 yard line. I know you got to score, but still, I want to get into that in a minute. I want to get into that situation and scenario in a minute. But the fact that the game is tied, 40 seconds left, and you know that the Rams need a field goal to win the game, you're going to call that. You sacked the motherfucker on the first down. You sacked him. And then 2 plays in a row, just like I talked about with the Niners against the Packers earlier in the season. I think it was week 3, where James G let them down and they were winning, and then all of a sudden the Niners decided not to cover Devontae Adams 2 big throws in a row. You know that's the only place he's going. You know Stafford's throwing a cup. Who gives a shit if he throws to Higbee? Who gives a shit if he throws to Van Jefferson? OBJ ain't catching the ball in the fourth quarter. We all know that. How are you going to tell me that Cooper Kupp catches the next 2? I mean, give me a fucking break.
I'm not even mad that Cooper Kupp caught it. I think he should have been. I'm not mad Cooper Kupp caught it, because Cooper Kupp, that's what the fucking guy does. He gets triple teamed and he catches balls. The 2 things I'm upset about is how is he single covered, and why were you blitzing the house?
That's what I mean.
And you let him get behind you.
Yes.
How are those the 2 things that occur?
You put a guy.
How do you not have 2 guys on him? And if he's going to catch the ball and he's got 2 guys on him, why is it to the house? It should have been maybe a 7-yard catch. By the time all the clock would run out, they would have been going for like a 57 fucking 60-yard field goal. Instead, you let them take it to the house.
It's unbelievable. I can't let Todd Bowles off the hook.
It was terrible, dude. Terrible. He blitzed the corner. And then my favorite part is, too, I don't know if you saw, but he had David stay in the middle
He didn't get the call.
It's like, but what I'm saying, so it's like you had the zero blitz, and the guy who had the most open lane, the way it all panned out, stayed in the middle.
He stayed in the middle. He didn't do anything.
He would at least maybe would have got a sack.
And not only that, you had the safety, Mike Edwards, come over the top and cover Higbee. Who gives a shit? He completely gave up the middle of the field. Winfield's in a bad position covering the post fucking while Kupp is streaking down the fucking field. He had outside fucking leverage when you throw, Stafford sees that all day in his sleep. Fucking threw a post over the top while Mike Edwards is running right towards the fucking middle of the field trying to cover a tight end. Who gives a shit?
I can't even.
It was
I can't
unbelievable.
Even go any
They missed fucking.
Balls.
They missed fucking Tristan Wirfs and they missed Chris Godwin. I don't give a fuck about AB. Nobody gives a fuck about AB anymore. But they didn't have Chris Godwin. I think they found a gem in fucking Scotty Miller. They got to get that guy on the field. And Tristan Wirfs was a huge, huge, huge loss. But still, at the same time, Tom Brady, the best quarterback that we'll ever see play this fucking game ever, led them back. Albeit with fucking turnovers. He's all right.
He's all right.
Albeit with the turnovers, albeit with Fournette, whatever. Tom Brady, there's just something about the fucking guy. He is the best of all time, and we're getting to see it, and he's not going to retire. Okay? But we got to give credit where credit is due.
I got to give a shout out to fucking Matt Stafford, if that's where you're going.
Matt Stafford is slowly winning me over, Scotty. I would never imagine I was going to fucking say that. Matt Stafford,
easily influenced. You got all these different opinions now from fucking week 8 to now.
Now Jimmy G, I always agreed with you that he's a winner. Okay, my boy Tim Tebow was a winner, but they're not going to be fucking top 5 in the league. They're not going to be clutch. They're not going to be all the time.
Yeah, I just think Jimmy G, when healthy, can make the right decisions. The problem is he's never healthy, and he also needs a team around him, and that's what he has in San Fran.
Stafford has all of the physical tools. We knew that.
Yeah.
We knew that from day one.
Usually.
We never thought he was clutch. It's tough to be clutch when you play with Detroit. It's tough to be clutch when you don't have a defense. It's tough to be clutch when you only have one receiver and no offensive line or whatever the fuck he always had. He made a lot of fucking bonehead moves in Detroit because he had to. He had to get these guys over, but I just didn't think he was clutch coming in with the Rams because he's soft. He's not one of those Josh Allens, or he's not one of those guys who's going to take all these shots and shit. But he is starting to win me over with how he's reacting and acting in the fourth quarter when it matters.
I'm impressed. 2 games. No interceptions.
I mean,
I don't know if you remember, but he had 3 pick sixes in the end of the season.
He's got
every fucking game he was throwing a pick six.
He's got 50 game-winning drives. 50. Okay? Come from behind game-winning drives. This guy did it with Detroit, and he's doing it with the Rams. Business. And I'm telling you, even though McVay is still a pussy in my opinion, I don't know how the fuck you let a team come back. I mean, literally, that game was over.
McVay's getting pussy, in my opinion.
That game was over, okay?
Fucking the females love him. I'm at the fucking bar watching the game, and all the girls are talking about fucking McVay.
Yeah, he probably wears curve with those fucking blue eyes, that son of a bitch. Now, here's the thing. That defense still can't stop the run, okay? They're like you said, it's a soft team. They can't stop the run. They're great at rushing the passer. They cannot stop the run. So the Niners, I think, are going to pose the same thing, same problem. And to me, did you see Mike Evans toasting Jalen Ramsey? Like it was no problem? Like what has happened to Jalen Ramsey? To me, everyone talks about he's Revis, he's Sherman, he's this guy who can lock you up.
He's never been that, but he's still fucking good. I don't know how you don't think he's good.
He's not the best corner in the league.
Very good.
He's not this like, oh my God. He's like, I can't throw to this fucking side of the field. No.
So who's the best corner in the league? Slay? Who's the best corner in the league?
I like Slay.
I think Slay's up there.
I really do. I really think he's a fucking baller for sure. You can go into, if you're talking ball hawking, Diggs has got to be in there, even though he gives up the most yards.
Yeah.
He's, he can ball hawk.
There's not really a dominant corner right now in this league.
Not really.
Maybe what's his name? The rookie in Denver might turn out to be Surtain.
Well, Surtain's a great player, and maybe J.C. Horn's going to be great.
Yeah, and they're both young, so we could see what that.
I liked Lattimore. I think he's more of a man guy. Lattimore can stick on a man. Ramsey,
what about
not a man guy.
What about the guy? What about in Pittsburgh? Who am I thinking of?
Well, you got Joe Hayden and you got Minka Fitzpatrick, but Fitzpatrick's a safety. Yeah,
Minka's a safety. Though.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
You know who I really like? Watch out for this kid in Detroit, Amani Oruwariye. He had 7 picks this year. Every time I watched the Lions game, he was locking up their number one and making plays. I like that kid. Watch him from Detroit. But the Rams, they got to fucking flip their script against the Niners or they're going to get beat for a 7th time in a row. But what they did against Tampa Bay was amazing because they've done it now 2 times this year, and they did it last year with Goff. They really fluster Brady, and their offense is clicking on all cylinders against that defense. And they sent Brady home, but not for good. But this year, he ain't retiring. Tom Brady will be back stronger the next year. This is going to make the Bucs more pissed. This is going to have them reload, and they'll be right back there next year. But
I think they do need to shuffle up some things. I think they're going to lose a lot of pieces. I think Gronk's got to probably retire again, honestly. Or you got to make some agreement with Gronk, like, hey, you're going to play the last like 5 games in the postseason. That's it.
Yeah. But they need some more players.
They're going to lose. They're probably going to lose Godwin.
That's fine.
He's gonna go probably get paid somewhere, even off the injury.
Yep, they got to replace him at receiver, and they got to keep that defense together, like Sue and a couple of those guys that are free agents.
Sue's getting up there though, man. He might be time to reload him.
He can dominate if you get him cheap, and they've been getting him cheap. But I want to see if the Rams can get to the NFL's championship game, the Super Bowl at their place, and I think the Rams are going to get the benefit of the calls because I really believe that Roger Goodell wants them at their home.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy too? You got never before had a team hosted the Super Bowl, and now you're going to maybe have it 2 years in a row.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. Isn't that like a coincidence or, I don't know.
And I'm going to tell you right now, you want to look, I don't even know if we want to go backwards. I mean, maybe we'll hit that on a recap show. We can talk about the teams that got eliminated. It's up to you. But do you want to go and predict what we think is going to happen this next week, or talk about what the NFL wants? Because I'm telling you right now, I know for a fact the NFL ain't looking to have the 49ers in the Super Bowl because it ain't it's like they're like the New Jersey Devils, dude. Yeah. They're not what they want.
They don't want the San Fran.
What the NFL wants is that Buffalo Kansas City game. That basically was their Super Bowl. Yeah. That's what they want. Yeah, they want that every fucking week.
They want Rams and Chiefs. I mean, they wanted that from day one.
I think so too. I think Rams and Chiefs is what they want.
But here's the thing,
Scotty. Or I wouldn't even be surprised if they want Rams Bengals so they can ignite a whole new fan base for a team that's been a smaller market team.
Yeah, we'll see. But before we get into that, because we are going to do a recap show, folks. So if you're excited about the season recap of the past, I'd say probably the last 6 or 7 weeks of the season.
Who got a tattoo? Who didn't get a tattoo?
Fucking Tommy. Fucking Dr. Tomas, you lucky bastard. I'll tell you, if the fact that we missed out on the last 7 or 8 weeks of the season plus the wild card week, we are going to give you the recap. We're going to give you where we were right, where we were wrong. But right now, if you remember back in the summer when we had the Super Bowl secret sauce, we said that Super Bowl teams win with one caveat, and that was the quarterback had to be less than 12% of the total salary cap. It hasn't been done in, I believe it was 27 years, since 1994 with Steve Young. He was the only quarterback and the last quarterback to be over 12% to win a Super Bowl. We said the teams that were in play were the Buccaneers, the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Cowboys. All 4 of those teams made the playoffs in the NFC. And the Rams are still alive, baby. So that's one of those teams. And unfortunately, the San Francisco 49ers are not in this list for the NFC. So they're out and they're done. Super Bowl chances are over.
What about for your AFC?
Opinion. The AFC, only one of the 4 teams that was in the top 8 of this was in the playoffs. You got the Chargers, the Colts, and the Browns, which are all out of the playoffs, did not make the playoffs. And the Bills, who made the playoffs, just lost to Kansas City. The also-rans of, as far as the quarterbacks that did not have 12% that were in the, maybe let's see what, happens category. The Washington football team, the Baltimore Ravens, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Bengals and the Chiefs are playing each other in the AFC Championship with 2 quarterbacks that make less than 12% of their salary cap. So Bengals, Chiefs, and Rams, out of the 3 out of the 4 fucking teams left in the playoffs, have less than 12%. Scotty boy, it basically goes to show that the secret sauce is legit. You need to make sure that all of your money, or at least less than 12% of your money, is tied up to your quarterback.
So wait, is Kansas City's not in that?
Kansas City's in that, yeah. Yeah, that's the last year that Mahomes is not 12%. So, like I said. So
really, the only team is left that's not in that is Jimmy G and the 49ers.
Yep. And that's,
so what you're saying is, based on your sauce, is there's no possible way that happens.
That they win. That they win the Super Bowl.
Win the Super Bowl.
Yes. So that means they can make it, but they ain't gonna win.
I can't wait till they pay Josh Allen.
So yeah, that's gonna hurt the Bills for sure. Unless they can swing a way that it's not. But usually when you pay your guy, you're over 12 and you're fucked. But that is that, Scotty. That is the recap of the divisional weekend in the playoffs. Like we said, 2 days, 4 games that we ain't gonna fucking ever see better than those 4 games.
It was incredible.
Ever. It was unbelievable. So right now, Scotty, if you had to put your balls on the top of a dresser and somebody had a fucking cleaver saying, hey,
Jesus
listen,
Christ,
what's
you're
it going to be?
Right now, I'm just thinking about it. I'm in pain. I can't think about shit now.
What's it going to be? NFC, AFC, Super Bowl. You had originally picked in the beginning of the season the Green Bay Packers would upset the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Of course, now the Packers are out, so let's see if you change your mind. What do you got?
Let me pull my balls off the dresser real quick. I'm saying it's going to be Chiefs-Rams. That's what I think it's going to be.
Chiefs-Rams.
And I think the Chiefs are probably going to get it done again.
Now, here's the thing. That would be a fucking nightmare for you. I told you privately that's my fucking worst nightmare.
Nightmare for you or nightmare for me?
For me. The Rams and Chiefs. I teams I despise.
I was going to say, my nightmare was the fucking balls on the dresser thing.
I'm surprised it didn't take you that long to get them off. Now, here's the thing. Bengals, Chiefs. You know how I feel about Joey B. But I also have to be real. I think the time ends for Cincinnati. I think the Chiefs win a closey, and I think the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl. Rams and 49ers. It just seems to me like it's obvious. Rams going home. The NFL wants the home team. The NFL wants LA. They want Rams, Chiefs. There's something to that Niners thing. I'm saying Chiefs, Niners. Rematch of 2 years ago. And unfortunately, because the sauce says so.
Do you think Jimmy G gets in? You think the Niners get in?
I think the Niners get in. I think they're going to run themselves to the Super Bowl.
So go ahead.
Because I still believe that there's something to be said about the Shanahan-McVayism. And I understand at some point it's got to end. I get it. But San Fran is got, I think, the fucking mojo against the Rams. I'm taking San Fran, and then based on the sauce, unfortunately, I think the Chiefs beat the fucking Niners again in the Super Bowl.
I'm just going to tell you this real quick. Hold on. I forgot what I was going to fucking say now. You were just saying the Niners are going to get in. Fuck was I going to say?
Going to run them to death. You know, they got the matchup. They got the mojo. Shanahan, McVay, secret sauce.
Let me. I'm good.
Yeah.
I was going to say this. Something to keep in mind. I know you're a big believer. The NFL's a fucking WWE fucking sideshow. Everything's fixed. You think a lot of things are kind of rigged. You think, and I get you on that. There's definitely some swaying probably going on behind closed doors. Let's be honest. With that being said, the 2 biggest markets in this nation are New York City and Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And what does Los Angeles not have? Any support for their football teams. The fans in Los Angeles are Raider fans, and they are 49er fans. The last game the Rams played the Niners, they literally were having miscommunication on snap counts because they couldn't hear in their own home stadium because the Niners bought it out. The same thing's been happening with the Chargers. It's a nightmare. Whitworth's wife literally went on Twitter and said, if you're selling tickets, I will buy them. Please don't sell them to Niner fans. I don't know if it was the owner or the PR director or what. They literally made it so that the initial ticket sales, obviously people are going to buy it up and third parties are going to sell it to whoever, but the initial ticket sales are only within an hour radius of Los Angeles or something like that. Some radius. I can't even buy them in San Diego unless I go through a third party because they do not want Niner fans going to the game. So in my opinion, they were going to have all the calls and they were going to do everything they can to get the Rams into this fucking stadium that they just invested in, because they need to build this market up, because right now they don't have a fan base. They don't.
They have to, and I agree. And I've been saying that for months about, the fact that they will control the shit that they can control. And they don't want Bengals and 49ers in the fucking Super Bowl. We all know that, okay? Now, if one of the teams gets in, then fine. But at least you get the Chiefs, who have the most loyal fans in the fucking league in Kansas City. Or you get the Bengals with the new upstart fucking Tom Brady quarterback against the Los Angeles Rams at home. So, they do not want Bengals Niners, I'll tell you that. They would shoot in their shorts over Rams and Chiefs. But I think no matter what, I think they really do want one of those teams in, and they would prefer both. But I'm telling you, I'm worried about, like you just said, what do the fans look like? What do the refs look like? And, do they try to get McVay and your boy Staffy into the fucking Super Bowl in their home stadium now for the second year in a row? A home team plays at their home stadium in the Super Bowl. We'll see. I just think the Niners have the fucking mojo against the Rams, and I think they're going to do it.
Real quick, what does that mean for the Rams if they don't make it? If the Niners get in like you say they do, what does that mean for the Rams, who went all in? The chips are in the middle of the table.
Yeah.
They got OBJ. They got fucking Von Miller.
Yep.
They got Jalen Ramsey. I mean, they literally are an all-star team. There's no reason why they're even the fucking fourth seed. It's kind of already an embarrassment. Like, we forget that because of where they are. But honestly, the way this season ended, it kind of was a major disappointment. So where does it leave them if they fall, especially if they get their ass kicked from the Niners a seventh time? Like, where does that leave them?
Yeah, I really believe it's a huge mind fuck for McVay and Stan Kroenke, the owner. How do you invest all those first-round picks in guys like you said, Stafford?
What a terrible name, Kroenke.
Kroenke, Stan Kroenke, and Von Miller, and fucking OBJ, and all these dudes, Leonard Floyd, all these guys you brought in, Jalen Ramsey too. I mean, all these dudes you brought in, you don't have a first-round pick for 37 years. And you have all these fucking guys, right? And now you're going to say, I can't beat one fucking team, especially in my division that I got to face now for the third time. And I'm at home, and, I got Staffy, and I got the best young coach anybody's ever fucking seen. And we have the newest stadium, and we're going to have all these, gay hating, murdering fucking, artists fucking doing halftime shows. So, whatever it is that they that they can't beat Shanahan, it's one of those bugaboos that it's almost inexplainable. It's like, how the fuck, can you explain that they cannot beat a fucking team that just has red and white on their fucking uniforms, and yet we can murder everybody else? It's really amazing to me. But where it leaves them, Scotty, is it just leaves them another uphill climb, because you got Whitworth going to retire. You have, all of these dudes that are top echelon players that make a lot of dough, that you're not going to be able to go get the young kids to replace them anymore because you don't have fucking picks. So, they're going to be in the same spot next year. They're going to have to go all in again. They're going to have to really fucking finagle some shit with the cap, finagle some shit with some trades. Apparently they've showed that they're really good in that. But if they don't beat the Niners, Scotty, I mean, it's a huge fucking pressure on McVay.
Honestly, I might blow it up if I'm the fucking owner. I might be like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I've been spending all this money. We've been doing all this shit, and I've got nothing to show for it but a busted-ass Super Bowl. That was the most boring Super Bowl in history. It was like fucking 6-0 at third quarter.
Yeah, my head, is saying maybe I am picking a little bit more with my heart here, which is not usually smart. But my head does say that the NFL finds a way to get the Rams there in the Super Bowl. But the Niners are the fucking last team that they wanted to see in the NFC Championship game. So we'll see. And I think
it was the last team the Cowboys wanted to see too. I don't know.
We'll get into that. I can't wait to get into that, folks. Next episode now, subject. We are dropping 2 episodes at once, dropping them off right in the fucking toilet, I'll tell you that. Our recap show of the rest of the regular season.
I don't know why you gotta be nasty all the time, bro. I don't know why you can't just be cordial with the people.
Oh, cordial.
You talking about shitting and busting your balls and all kinds of shit.
If they wanted to listen, to someone saying we're gonna beat your butts, or that was just not a good play, then they can watch ESPN. But if they want to listen to us, they want to listen to the NFL the fucking explicit way, then I'm going to say what I want to say. Next episode, recap of the regular season that we missed, and also the wild card games where my piece of shit Cowboys lost to the San Francisco 49ers at home as the 3 seed. So can't wait to fucking get into that. And we'll talk about the playoff loss as far as the New York Jets as well. We have some footage from 2010
Fuck
that
you,
we can
man.
talk about.
Hey, all I gotta say is, let me just say this real quick. Caught me off guard with that one. Let me just say this. I'm going to be the biggest fucking Bengals fan you've ever seen in your life, because I'm going to put money on the Chiefs, don't get me wrong, but I'm still going to root for the Bengals because it'll be money well spent if I can tell everybody that the team in the Super Bowl lost to the fucking Jets this year. That's all I got to say.
Well, it's about fucking time you got on the train, the Cincinnati train. It took you fucking 4 months. But it's about fucking time. But folks, until then, this was episode 36, talking about the fucking divisional playoffs, the best weekend of football we'll ever fucking see. For Rocco B, Scotty G, saying see you later and sayonara.
Adios.